Hey, beautiful souls.
Welcome to Bit of the Beautiful. I am Coach Charmin D. Energetic, heartfelt, and always keeping it real.
And I'm Coach Lonette, more reserved, tenacious, honest, and a little funny
Together, we're here to guide you through transforming your bitterness.
into something truly beautiful. Join us on this journey of healing and empowerment.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another enlightening episode of Bit of the Beautiful. I am your host, Coach Charmin D. And as always, I'm joined with our wonderful co host, Coach Lonette. Today, we'll have a special guest, Coach Carol Whyne, who is not only a registered nurse, but also a certified menopause coach. Coach Lonette?
Hey, beautiful souls. We're excited to discuss a topic that affects every woman at different stages of her life. Blooming into wellness, juggling life's responsibilities and changes. We're going to explore how to maintain wellness as we navigate various stages in life, including menopause. Miss Carol, welcome to our podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Coach Lonette and Coach Charmaine. So good to be here. I'm excited, so excited to be here to share. My name is Carol Whyne, as you have heard. I'm a registered nurse and a certified menopause coach, and I help women and their families to navigate through the challenges of menopause by providing them with reliable information, personalized support, and practical tools to improve their quality of life. I also offer them seed source plant source nutrition, which is an alternative to chemicals to assist with hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, and so much more. I'm a Jamaican. I have two handsome son and a beautiful daughter-in-law and two darling granddaughters. They are my heartbeats, and I'm happy to be here today to talk about menopause.
Go Jamaica. Thank you so much, Miss Carol. So,
Yes, yes,
as,
yes.
as always, we're going to start our episode with the scripture, and today's scripture is found in Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1, and we're reading from the New King James Version. To everything, there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. This verse highlights the natural flow of life stages and the importance of embracing each one with grace. Another powerful verse is Isaiah 46:4 in the NIV version, and it says, "Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I am He who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you." I'm getting chills. "I will sustain you and I will rescue you." This scripture reassures us that God is with us through every stage, providing strength and support. Coach Charmin?
Even in your old age with gray hairs. Okay, God. Okay. I got you. Okay. So, ladies, let's start with some questions. How have you adjusted your self care practices to meet the changing needs of your body and mind during these different stages? And a follow up question: what changes have you made most significantly that impact your wellness and help, and how might you continue to adapt as you move forward? Let me repeat that. What changes have made the most significant impact on your wellness, and how might you continue to adapt as you move forward? Coach Lonette?
So, self-care practices, life changes, changing needs of your body. Okay. So, um, through life changes, I've learned to try to take care of myself. I learned, especially 2 episodes ago, that when Coach Anisha was with us, she talked about self-maintenance versus self-care. And I learned that I did a lot of self-maintenance. And yet and still, I was not taking care of myself. I was ripping and running, maybe going to a hair appointment, nail appointment, in between doing other things. And I um I wasn't resting. I wasn't socializing. I wasn't having quiet time and doing the things that I needed to reset and rejuvenate. And so over time, as you get older, your body changes, whatever that may be. Um, I, there's a joke that when you hit your 30s or your 40s, that you start waking up and it's like, oh my goodness, and you have to stretch and you hear the cracks and the cricks in your body. You have to learn how to stretch. So putting in a stretch routine. Sometimes I just have to do it automatically because I experience inflammation or tightness sometimes. So it's an automatic stretch for me to get some relief. And then going through life changes from teenage years when you get your first menstruation. That's part of a body change. You have to learn what to do. You have to learn your body. You have to learn your cycle. You have to learn. My big thing was always you have to learn what to eat and what not to eat around that time of the month. Whether cravings or no cravings, there were things that can cause discomfort for you during that time. And so if you don't have a regular routine of exercise also, as you get older, it catches up with you. So it's very important to move around. And I was active from teenage to maybe in my mid 30s. I would say I was very active. I was in the gym or a workout class or a dance ministry, and I was always moving. And then the pandemic hit and I wasn't moving as much. And boy, oh boy, did it show on me because I wasn't as active. But yet and still my body was going through a change. And I was not aware. And we'll talk about that a little more as we go along this episode. But having wellness and learning about self-care has had a significant impact on my life and to those that are around me. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to spread out and branch out and affect those that are around you as well. Who wants to take it next?
If it's a Coach Carol.
Well, absolutely. I love what you said, Coach Lonette. And self-care is so very, very important. And I had to make adjustments years ago because one of the, if you do know Jamaicans, and I suppose other people as well, we love a lot of, one of my adjustments that I had to make was nutrition. You would think that as a nurse, I would be home and eating very, very well. And I got a wake-up call. Jamaicans, we love a lot of red meat. And so I realized one day when I was in the maternity ward, to be exact, as we were talking earlier about delivering babies, and I just felt dizzy. And I said, one of the things you think about when somebody complains of dizziness is that blood pressure okay? And so I took my blood pressure and realized that it was way over my normal limits. And I realized that something was happening, and that kept on for a couple of days. I keep on checking it. I was having a lot of organ needs, and so I had to make an adjustment. So it's a nutrition change for me. I had to really decrease on red meats, really decrease on those sugars and fats that's not healthy, and took on a different sort of lifestyle. Increase on my exercise. I had to take care of myself. I was a nurse taking care of others, but not taking care of myself with my nutrition. I wasn't drinking enough water either. So there was a change. I had to do that and increase more on my vegetables. And so it's very important to take care of yourself and also to rest as well. So that was very important for me as well. So nutrition changes, hydration changes, increasing on my exercise, because with that it's going to increase circulation and my body would get more nutrition, more oxygen. So that is self-care as well. And also rest. And that is where certain things will come in. I'll talk about that because that was one of my key issues with menopause as well.
We need to talk about rest. Or I don't think I get enough rest. And I think that is one of the reasons why I can fit, like, if I really want to talk about menopause, hot flashes are my friends. Are they really? So, and I think one of the things that where I'm continuously going through something when I'm going through hot flashes, and I think a lot of it comes from because I'm not getting enough rest, and two, because I'm a coffee drinker. So I wish somebody tell me what that's about, but I'm going to give it back to you, Coach Lonette.
Okay, I just wanted to address some things that Miss Carol said. So Miss Carol talked about being a Jamaican, and I am not Jamaican, but I am Peruvian monstration. And the plates almost look the same, right? So you have your meat, you have your rice and peas, and then you have maybe a slice of pear or avocado, as you may call it, and then maybe a like 2 leaves of lettuce on the side, and that's the vegetable. You don't really grow up eating so many vegetables. There's okra, there's callaloo, there are other things, but it wasn't until my family got a little more Americanized that I started eating more greens. And I say all the time, my friends make fun of me because I love vegetables. I don't know why they make fun of me, but I really do. And I eat collard greens, I eat Swiss chard, I eat mesclun lettuce, romaine lettuce, I eat all the green leafy, even dandelion. It's good for you, but it's bitter. I'll let you know now. But there's a lot of health benefits where, while we say here on Bitter to Beautiful, bitter is not better for your body internally, bitter is better for your body. So it's really necessary to intake those things. You may not like it, but it's good for you. And so it's so important that we incorporate, the vegetables and the fruits in our diets as well, because they have their own benefits. And drinking water. You mentioned you weren't drinking enough water. Drinking water. So I learned a few years ago, and I even had the water app. I took it off because it irritated me after a while. It reminded me to drink water, and it would literally be the sound of someone pouring water. But I've learned that you should drink half of your body weight every day. Every day. And it flushes out toxins, and it makes your skin brighter, especially if you put a cap full of apple cider vinegar in there. And, there's a lot of things that we can do. And culturally, just saying, there are some shifts. So even in culture, we should look at the diseases that may follow the different cultures because of the way that we're eating, things that may be missing from our diets, and then incorporate things from different cultures. All right. So moving on. I learned more about menopause, Miss Carol, by joining your clubhouse room, and we'll talk about that later as well. As one who has gone through menopause, did not know that I was going through menopause. It has been very helpful, very impactful, and there's been a community of women who have gone through earlier in their life, even in their 30s, I remember hearing, and even later. Why did you decide to be a nurse? And then why did you also decide to focus on menopause as a coach?
Thank you so much, Coach Lonette. And it's funny, my attraction to nursing was seen then nurses in white caps and white uniform, white stockings and white shoes. That attracted me. Something about the white just sort of drew me to the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went into nursing school, I was still attracted to nursing, but I got a wake-up call to realize that it's more than just the uniform. It's more than that. But I was able, because I think I was born with that caring attitude, that caring, that loving, want to care, help people, suffering people. And I grew into loving to be a nurse. One of the things that blessed me is having somebody who comes into a medical unit, having probably high blood pressure, having congestive heart failure, not able to breathe well. And with the order from the doctor and with the nurse's help, I help him. That person is able to walk out free from using oxygen, laughing, and healthy. It does so much for me. So that is one of the reasons that really got me into nursing. But then I love caring for people, for them getting better. On menopause, oh my goodness, I have a stories because I went into premature or early menopause due to fibroids. Fibroids, I had painful menses and had to have fibroids removed. And within 6 months, the fibroids grew back. Now I lost one ovary with the when I had the myomectomy, which is a removal of the fibroids. And when I realized that the fibroids grew back, because I started having pain with my menses, and when the doctor said yes, fibroids are back, I decided I was just going to just get it removed, thinking that one ovary was left, would be able to give me enough hormones for me to live a healthy life. When the doctor went in, oh my goodness, the ovary was unhealthy, so he just took it out because I gave him permission to, if anything else, go ahead, and he did. So I was ushered into early menopause, and it was tumultuous. I had insomnia. You talk about sleep. I was fatigued. I had moodiness, mood swings. I was irritable. There were times I couldn't go to work because I was so tired, because I tried different things over the counter, natural things. I opted for not doing hormone because of the side effects that I knew as a medical person. And so I tried over the counter natural stuff. Didn't help me. I did essential oils. And I got to a stage where I said, you know what? If you continue to do the same thing, it's going to give the same results. And I said, God, there must be a way. Give me an answer. Seed source nutrition, plant-based nutrition came into my life. And I can tell you, immediately, although I battled it thinking that it was medications. But let me tell you something. If you have somebody that you want to help, do not give up. Keep on presenting the remedy or the help to them. My friend kept on, and I decided, okay, probably this is answer to prayer. And immediately I was relieved I was able to sleep, and it's over 5 years ago. And I'm sleeping still like a baby. And so with that, I decided that I was going to help women who are going through menopause, because I got help. And still, I'm doing fantastic. So I'm excited to help women, to live their best life ever. And their families as well, because families are part of the menopause journey. So that's what caused me to be a menopause coach.
Right. That's wonderful. That's some journey.
Yes.
That's some journey. Now I remember going through insomnia. I didn't know why. I went through insomnia for a year. I didn't know why. And it broke when my church did a Daniel fast.
Mm, mm.
So I don't know if something in my diet was causing it. That's what I attributed to. But now that I know what I was going through, that's what I was exhausted. I experienced great fatigue. I told people like I thought I was dying because I had no energy. I didn't want to do anything because I didn't have energy. I stayed up all hours of the night. Where I was staying at the time, there was popcorn ceiling, so it was counting popcorn ceiling. I was just trying to do anything. I tried counting sheep. Yes, I did. It didn't work. Um, but when I did the Daniel fast, it actually helped me. So a diet change may be something that's helpful as well. I know that I experienced moodiness. I thought it was just depression, but depression is also a symptom that you can have when you're going through menopause. I thought it was a lot of things, but the people closest to me can tell it best because they understood. I became forgetful, and there were a number of things. But you said something very powerful, Miss Carol. You said, don't give up on people. Keep helping them. Keep helping them. And I think that it is so important that people understand not only menopause, but different life changes. And just show people, have some grace towards people,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's a word that we use a lot, grace. Extend grace toward people. You never know what someone is going through. They probably don't know what they're going through either, or maybe cannot articulate what they're saying.
Mhm.
But if we learn to have grace and help people stay consistent, or find someone who is more equipped to help, that would absolutely, help someone through. Everybody, yada, 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 needs somebody.
Yes,
I thought about that
absolutely.
song. But we all need someone. So it's good to lend help as well. So, how can the different stages in a woman's life, such as menopause, impact her ability to juggle responsibilities? And what are some specific challenges that you all may have faced during these stages, and how did you manage them?
Well, for certain, the different stages of a woman's life, especially with menopause, definitely impact her ability to juggle her responsibilities. Because, as you know, menopause affect physical, emotional, psychological, and many more. But when you think about physical symptoms, as I said earlier, fatigue and sleep disruption was a my two of my main symptoms, and that led to chronic fatigue. Now, this is going to reduce energy levels. It's going to make it harder to manage daily tasks. You have children to take care of. You have your responsibilities as probably working. Can you work well? With me, I had to call out from work a lot of times because of fatigue. Hot flashes I didn't have, but that can also cause discomfort. It can cause distraction. It can also affect a woman's self-confidence. You're in a meeting and you start to just profusely sweating. You can't function and do your job as a manager who's conducting the meeting. So it affects your focus, it affects your productivity, and so it definitely affects your work. Talking about emotional and psychological changes, oh my goodness, those mood swings, the irritability, the anxiety, that can affect your relationship with your children, with your spouses, your spouse, with your family members, and your job. How can you stay calm under pressure? It can complicate your work relationship. How do you manage with your co-workers next to you? Are you just get disrespectful to your boss because of the mood swings? And another thing is cognitive changes. A lot of women complain of brain fog, difficult concentrating. So how can you be working at the machine doing that? You get a brain fog. You can get injury, difficult concentrating. Are you able as a manager to make good decisions, solve problems, and you are multitasking because you are the team lead? How can you do that? So that definitely affects it's definitely affect your ability to function. And as a caregiver, probably sometimes taking care of aged parent and young children, it's stressful. So that can definitely workplace challenges as well. How do you manage with somebody who's having some genital urinary issues, not able to keep having stress incontinence by just talking, by just coughing? The bathroom is far away, you wet yourself. All of that definitely can be an issue as well.
Oh, yes, that bathroom being far away is an issue.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Issue. Oh, Lord. That's why I can't drink half my body weight of water during the day because I have to make it home.
Yeah.
And I find that I drink a lot more water when I'm home anyway, which is much better. But Coach Charmin, did you want to answer the question as well?
Well, you know what? I have had half of the things that Miss Carol mentioned is what I'm experiencing now going through menopause. I, like Miss Carol, I had a partial hysterectomy. And I thought, as people said, oh, don't worry about it, you're not going to go into menopause. And now, can I just say that it is intense? The hot flashes they're more recently, it's the hot flashes. I haven't experienced mood swings. Well, maybe I have and no one is telling me. I don't. But I know that I'm exhausted. Like, there's a period of time in the day that I am exhausted, and I know it has nothing to do with me getting. I know I also don't get a lot of sleep at night, but I know it has a lot to do with the fact that I believe I'm fully in menopause now. What I wanted to also reference too is Coach Lonette, when you mentioned grace, especially being married, because I couldn't have this conversation with my husband. He didn't understand that I'm hot, so I don't want you laying up under me. Like, he didn't understand that. So I pray that even though women are listening to this podcast, I pray that they're able to have that conversation with their husbands, with their spouses, their significant others, because it's important for them to understand so they can extend grace. And especially when it comes to mood swings. Again, I haven't experienced mood swings, but you would have to speak to somebody else about that. But I do know that if you're conversating and you understand exactly what the person is going through, then it's better for them to extend grace. So it's definitely important to have that conversation. Thank you, Coach Lonette.
Can I?
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Carol.
So I am happy that you mentioned about your husband, because Coach Lonette and Coach Charmin, that is one of my passions. If you notice, when I introduced myself, I said help women and their families. It is very important that it's a family affair. I believe it's a family affair, and that is why in October, when it's October menopause, October is World Menopause Month, I'm planning to have a panel discussion to get families in. Because if the children are able to have some understanding what mom is going through, because the husband is aware, he has been given information what his wife is going through, he will know that it's not that, Coach Charmaine, I don't want you to lay on me. It's not that I have somebody out there or I don't love you anymore. It's because of the hormone changes. And so they are better able to understand, give grace, and help with the chores. Mommy come home, she's tired. Daddy cooks, right? And the
Yes,
children are
Lord.
able to say, "Oh, mom, let me take off your shoes," because there's a better understanding. So it's very important to bring the family along. That is my key, one of my key areas to get the family, especially the immediate family, and also to help find some way to get the teenager, the child that is starting, or the young lady that's starting menses, to eh, um,
Educate.
help them to know that menopause is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
it should start from there
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
ongoing little bits. The parent can drop that in so they're aware that menses start, it's time you can get pregnant. But there's going
Mm-hmm.
to come a time when you may have hot flashes, you may have scanty period, you
Mm-hmm.
may not, changes, mood swings, so that there is education. Because
Mm-hmm.
once you are ignorant of it, then you're not able to accept certain things, right? And it's menopause is not a disease, it is a transition. And the earliest society realizes that, and women can speak about it because it's still tabooed, coaches, yes, and stigmatized. And
That's
we
right.
want to make sure we get it out there for them to know. So
Mm-hmm.
you just touch on something that, oh my God, just really stirred me up.
That's good. It's I think that that's another point. We need to educate not only women, but men too, and
Mm-hmm.
families. It's the life changes that we go through affect everyone. And it's not only menopause, there are so many changes. They say that men have midlife crises, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and everyone will go through a change, just like a young lady who gets her menses for the first time, or um teenagers entering into puberty. There's PMS. There's a woman who gets pregnant. There's a woman who becomes a mom, a grandmother, great grandmother, caretaker. Your work and your home life make a difference. Working in ministry makes a difference. These are changes. Loss of loved ones, loss of employment, loss of finances, family and relationship changes. All of these things can impact your life. So it's important that we learn how to take care of ourselves
Mm-hmm.
along the way. I remember having um hot flashes, and I didn't suffer too long, but when I did, oh Lord, it was
Mm.
literally like someone just opened a sprinkler over my head. I would just sit and I'm dripping, and I don't sweat naturally. I have to work up a sweat, and I'm literally just sitting and dripping. And I'm like, what is happening to my body? But the things that you eat, the
Mm-hmm.
things that you intake in your body makes a difference. I also learned even about food storage. Not using plastic containers, but
Mhm,
using
mhm,
glass will make a
Mm-hmm.
difference as well, because I don't remember, there's something in the plastic that can affect your hormone. And another thing, so why I did not know that I was going through menopause is because the doctor saw it as a thyroid issue. And I
Mm-hmm.
was tested constantly for my thyroid because the symptoms are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to, the female doctors, they didn't know what was going on. But I went through this for about 8 years until finally it was over. 8 years.
wow.
I just counted while we were here. And so it's important, ladies, if you think that you are going through something and the doctors aren't understanding, advocate for yourself, get a second opinion, do your research. Miss Cow is going to give her information on how you can listen and find more about menopause and, have those conversations, as Coach Charmin said, with your spouses, because it's going to affect your marriage if you're not communicating. I know that men want to know that they're wanted, but they have to know it's not necessarily that you don't want them. It is a change happening in your body, and extra body heat causes a different reaction sometimes. And, then there's mood swings and different hormonal things. Hormones are something serious. If your hormones are imbalanced, it can cause a lot of imbalance. And it's so important that we learn about that, not just from our doctors, do our research, and yes, educate your young ladies. When, I celebrated when my girls had their first menses. I celebrated it. And I went through the different stages and I had those conversations. Have honest, age-appropriate conversations with your young ladies.
As we close out part 1 of this episode, we had an amazing time discussing wellness and adaptability with Coach Carol today. Thanks for tuning in. Join us next week for part 2 of Blooming into Wellness, Juggling Life Responsibility and Changes, where we would explore more strategies to help you maintain balance. Remember, keep blooming. God doesn't want you bitter. He wants you beautiful. But know that self-care is not selfish. Thank you. Take care.
As we wrap up today's episode, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to you, our listeners. Transitioning from bitter to beautiful isn't just a moment, it's a movement, a continuous journey of transforming pain into power, one heart at a time.
And to all our first-time listeners, welcome to the family. We are a community of souls committed to healing, growth, and transformation. Click on the link in the bio to subscribe to our mailing list and tune in every week. When you subscribe, you'll also receive information about our live pop-up rooms on Clubhouse.
As we embrace life's journey and find the beauty in overcoming bitterness, remember, bitterness isn't beautiful, and your healing is just the beginning of a beautiful new chapter.
Don't forget, new episodes are released every Saturday. Whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or Listen Notes, there is a space for you here to find healing, inspiration, and strength.
Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep embracing the journey, keep healing, and keep transforming. Here's to turning all our bitter experiences into beautiful victories. See you next time.